Hi, hello, and welcome to my channel. It is that time of the month, my favorite time of the month. It is time to do our TBR jar picks, our September TBR. And I'm especially excited for this month because we are going to be using our TBR cart for the first time, and I'm just very excited. So let's go ahead and pick our first one. We'll do this one. Actually, maybe I should put this up here. There we go. She's cute. Okay, so what does this say? A book by an author of a book you didn't love. Oh. I'm gonna be honest, I did a pitiful job at reading the books that I picked last month. So going into this video, I kind of had it in my head that I really needed to make sure that I picked books that I knew I was going to read. And starting off with reading a book by an author of a book that I didn't love, it's not very promising. So I'm a little concerned. Also, I don't know that I even have that. So typically if I read a book from an author and I didn't love it, I don't buy any more books from that author. So honestly, the only thing that's popping up in my head is Emily Henry. As of right now, I've read 3 of her books and only one of them I liked. The other 2 were okay, but with the odds of only really liking 1 out of 3 books, I just kind of had it in my head that I wasn't gonna bother reading any more of her books. But she did just come out with Happy Place, and I don't own that book and I'm not gonna buy it, but my library does have it, so we're gonna read Emily Henry's Happy Place, which I will go pick up from the library today because, embarrassingly, I do have an overdue book. It's not super overdue. It was due on Thursday or Friday, I think, and today's Monday. I have a memory of a goldfish. So anyway, moving on. Let's do our second pick. We're gonna do this one. Ooh, okay, this one's gonna be one of the new ones that I just added because when I originally did this, I typed them all up. So, oh, I didn't show you my other prompt. Where'd it go? Okay, here's the first prompt, just so you know I'm not making things up, even though that was a difficult one to pick, so why in the heck I would make that up, I don't know. Anyway, originally I typed all these up and I didn't feel like typing a whole nother sheet of paper just for 5 prompts. So I just kind of crossed out what was typed up and then wrote down the new prompt, which this one says, intimidating book. For the love of Pete. This is another prompt that makes me feel like I might not end up reading this book because it's a book that I'll be intimidated by. Okay, I'm gonna have to make sure to remind myself not to overstuff this shelf because I can't get the books out if there's no room to wiggle them out. This one is very much in my wheelhouse. This is a dark fantasy romance, and the only reason that this is intimidating to me and why I haven't read it yet, because I've had this entire series for months, is just because it is part of a series, and when I start reading a series, I cannot move on to a different book until the series is done, if all the books are out anyway. Obviously, if I read a book and the second book hasn't come out yet, I'm not gonna not read. So me starting this book isn't me just starting this book. It's basically me reading a book this size. So also too, the benefit of this one, I've literally put this on my TBR so many times and have not gotten to it yet, clearly. So maybe we need to just literally do the thing, you know? And this one is also intimidating because of the same reasons this one is. I think there's 6 or 7 books in the entire series, and I own the first 3 of them. So again, we're not just reading this, we're gonna be reading these and then also the next 3 if I end up really liking this. And it also takes place in space, which I'm just not sure about. So I think we're gonna go ahead and go with this one. We're gonna read Guild. On to our third prompt. Please be an easy, good one with a book that I will love. We have another one where the original prompt was crossed out and I have written something new inside, but this is also a special prompt. If you've never seen any of my TBR prompt videos before, I do have a mixture of different color papers in here, mostly for aesthetics, but I do have a very few select number of these kind of Kelly green strips, which I call my active prompts, and basically they're prompts that involve other people or I need to actually go somewhere to get a book. Typically I do only pick 1 of these per video, but this time around I just kind of feel like pulling whatever pops out. So okay, I'm actually so freaking excited for this prompt. This is actually one that I just recently saw in someone else's video, and it seems like such a fun freaking thing to do. Pick a book at Barnes in 3 minutes. So basically we're gonna take a trip to Barnes and I have 3 minutes to pick a book, which doesn't seem too crazy, but I'm not very good at making decisions, especially under pressure, so this should be interesting. I have an idea for a book, but I kind of want to try to find something different, and that'll just be kind of a last resort. I do want to read this, and it's bound and half off. And this is another one I just saw last time we were here, and I really wanted. Let me know when we're halfway. Oh God. Maybe I could get this one finally. Oh no, no, no. Can't even find the one that was my backup. Oh God, okay, I'm just gonna grab something. It's not the time to panic. I am definitely panicking right now. I think I'm gonna grab this one. Hello, it's the day after the clip that you just saw, slash like when I filmed my TBR jar video. I'm just in the middle of editing and I wanted to jump in really quickly and talk about the book that I ended up getting from Barnes & Noble because we kind of changed our mind a little bit. Like I mentioned, I'm not great at making decisions, especially under pressure. So I did go into Barnes & Noble with like a little bit of a game plan. Basically, I wanted to stick to the like sale tables because one, it would be cheaper, but also I just felt like it would be less overwhelming. Like if I limited kind of what I could choose from. And that ended up, I feel like, making it harder because I literally just was at this particular bookstore like a couple weeks ago. So all the tables were pretty much the same. And I ended up kind of like hyper focusing on ones that I was interested in when I went before, but I didn't end up getting. So at the very last second, I literally just panic grabbed one of those books, which totally still sounds like a book that I want to read this fall. But in terms of like this month's reading or September's reading, not super interested. So yeah, so after I ended up turning off the camera, literally 2 seconds later, I came across this book, and this one definitely sounds a lot more interesting to me. Also, the cover, how cool is this? This is called What Big Teeth by Rose. I don't know how to say that last name, so I'll just put the name of the author on the screen, but this one says, Eleanor Zarin has been estranged from her wild, bloodthirsty family for years. When she flees boarding school after a horrifying incident, she goes to the one place she thinks is safe, the home she left behind. But when she gets there, she struggles to fit in with her monstrous relatives who prowl the woods around the family estate and read fortunes in the guts of birds. Eleanor finds herself desperately trying to hold the family together, all while attempting to make sense of re-emerging power that seems increasingly linked to the reason she was sent away in the first place. In order to save them all, Eleanor must learn to embrace her family of monsters and tame the darkness inside her. Honestly, after reading that, I don't really know what this is about, but from the cover and kind of like what it says, it does sound kind of werewolfy, which is definitely something I'm looking for. Specifically, I do want to find some like werewolf smut, so if you know of some, leave them in the comments down below. This one obviously isn't smut, and frankly, I don't even know if she's actually a werewolf. That's just kind of what it sounds like. But I don't know, it sounded interesting. More interesting at this moment in time than the other book anyway, so this is the one that we're going for. Let's get back to, oh, my cat just smacked the tripod. Let's get back to the regular video. Let's go ahead and pick our next prompt. Is this our fourth one? I think this is our fourth one. This is gonna be our fourth prompt, and I only have one book on my shelf. Okay, let's do this one. This one says, the next book in a series. So this is gonna be super simple, fantastic, and also something I'm super excited about. Yet again, it's gonna be a book that I don't actually own. I was really hoping by picking like extra prompts this month that I'd be like emptying out this TBR shelf a little bit, but clearly not. So currently I'm actually reading this book. This is Kingdom of the Wicked. I just hauled it in a bookstore vlog recently, and it's about two twin witches, and one of the twins ends up getting murdered, and the other one, Amelia, is trying to figure out who murdered her, and she ends up getting help from one of the wicked, Wrath, which is one of the 7 princes of hell, and each one of them is obviously one of the 7 deadly sins. and it's been really good so far. I just actually ordered the second book in the series this morning. It's called Kingdom of the Cursed. Now let's pick our 5th prompt, which I'm so excited is not going to be my last one. Let's do this one. A book with green on the cover. And we have a couple of options. So we can either do Daisy Hates. Oh, we can't do that book because this is the 4th book in the series. I thought this was the 2nd one. Why are these out of order? Technically, the 2nd book in the series does have some green on these little like flags, but I feel like it needs to be like green, you know? So I don't really want to do that one, especially because I do have this one, which is basically entirely green. So I feel like this one has to be the one that I pick. This is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, and yeah, literally the entire thing is green. I think this is like a horror or a thriller book about a haunted house. We are getting close to fall, and I'm definitely getting excited to start reading some like thrillers and horror books and things like that. So we're gonna go with this one. All right, number 6. Prompt number, ooh, okay. We had one fall out, so let's go ahead and do that one. A book from your favorite genre. Romantasy is definitely my favorite genre, and I actually cannot do that genre because I don't really have any options for that. We're already doing the Plated Prisoner series, but then the only other option that I have is the Game of, like the Hades spin-off series of A Touch of Darkness. But I'm waiting for the last book in the series to come out before I continue reading this series, which was supposed to be in November, but they've bumped it to March of next year, which is devastating. So, I don't know, maybe we should do another thriller instead. You know what? I think I'm gonna do this one. This is How to Kill Men and Get Away with It, and this is definitely a book that I kind of had in my head going into this video that I was going to try to like squeeze into one of the prompts. And this is basically about a woman who is getting like stalked, I guess, by some dude, or like followed, and she ends up killing him, gets addicted to it, and apparently just kills men or something like that. It sounds like it could be really fun. And we're gonna pick this one. All right, so this one is A Book with a Great First Sentence, which is actually really funny because I just recorded a video, a TikTok the other day, of books with cool or like fun first sentences. The first one is Hooked, which I've already read. Should I be reading the sentences for all of these books? I think I should. I think that would be fun. So let's go ahead and do that. For Hooked, it says, "It feels different than I thought it would. Killing him," which is actually so similar to this one. "Before all this started, I thought that squeezing the life out of someone would be easy." Why would you think that would be easy? And then the other one that we have that also is on our TBR already is Guild. "I lift the gold goblet to my lips as I watch the show of naked flesh through the space between my bars." Definitely very intriguing. Apparently Ninth House has a good first sentence. "By the time Alex managed to get the blood out of her good wool coat, it was too warm to wear it." Clearly I have like a type when it comes to first sentences. It needs to be provocative or talk about blood. I might end up going with this one because Kevin, my boyfriend, has already read this one and he keeps like bugging me to read it. So I might end up going with that one. Oh, last one was Queen of Myth and Monsters. So we definitely will be reading Ninth House because I've also read A Queen of Myth and Monsters. 9 corpses were impaled outside the gates of the Red Palace. You know what else has a really good first sentence? What's that book called? Layla by Colleen Hoover. That one talks about being like tied up or something like that. Anyway. And with that, those are all of the books that I am planning to read, hopefully, in September. And before I go, I'm gonna go ahead and run through them really quickly. So the first one that we have is Happy Place by Emily Henry. Guild, which is the first book in the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. And then we have a book that we picked in under 3 minutes from Barnes. And then for the next book in a series, we have Kingdom of the Cursed, which is the second book in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. How to Kill Men and Get Away with It by Katie Brent. Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. And then last but certainly not least, we have Ninth House. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I hope you guys have had the most amazing of days, and I will hopefully see you guys in my next one. Bye.